Hi and welcome to the Market Alert for Friday, the 8th of January 2020. So yesterday we got stocks, cryptos and bonds soar after darkest moment in American history. And as we've seen this so often, nothing to see here, move along. And you'll see that in just a moment. Also today we've got the non-farm payrolls. These are out for December. You can see there the forecast at 600,000 jobs created there, but there is a bit of a warning here. December payrolls preview, brace for a very ugly number. It may well be that Trump's admin's kitchen sink has finally tuned government data, is finally allowed to catch up to reality, potentially resulting in a catastrophically bad number. So watch out at 1:30 for this. However, there's good news here on the implied volatility. We've taken out the low for last year. We're down to 1770 as of yesterday. The lower this number goes, the bigger the correction will be. I'm surprised we've broken this, but if we can get down lower than this, then the bigger the correction we will see once prices do break in the upside. But at the moment, it's a one-way bet to the upside. And there you can see the green blatant there, where we've got the implied moving lower. So whatever risk that they were seeing yesterday in the options market has now been removed. And this is also consistent with what's happening overnight as well. At the moment, you can see the German Dax up already significantly. Let's just have a quick look. With prices up from the low to the high already, we can see we're up 147 points already before the market actually opens in the futures. So let's have a look, and it's probably because Trump has now said that he's going to hand over to Biden, making preparations for this handover. So let's have a look and see. So we can see that prices have just moved to the upside from the off, above the DP, above the 200 MA, and every time it's pulled back, it's moved back to the upside. A bit of a pullback going on there at the moment. It may be a case that we end up with an upthrust here down to the low from the open. That's quite possible. Having put on 147 points, you're likely to get some sort of a pullback. A lot of traders will see this, they'll jump in, they will buy, only to see the market slam prices back to the downside as well. So see what happens in the futures market at 7 a.m. when this opens. But a lot of activity overnight for sure, with prices moving to the upside there. Just have a look as we compress the data. Well, you can see we're through the high, which is obvious, but it's the R3 really. It's 100 points away on the upside if prices do move higher. Watch this area if you get prices moving to the upside, and if they are shaken out, watch yesterday's high. As well, as we saw in yesterday's market alert, particularly in part 2, how this was significantly used as a support area during yesterday's trading session. At some point there's got to be some sort of correction in this market. It's moved up in the last few days. Let's have a look from the low here to the high. We're up 543 points. The Dow is up even more during this period, but it's a big move for the DAX. And speaking of the Dow, let's have a quick look. Again, you can see another new all-time high being made overnight for the Dow. 31252 is the new high there as well. So that's also due for a correction. If you have a look at this one, you will see that prices from the recent low this week to the high I've put on a blistering 1,300 points. So a correction and pullback is required as well. It's very easy to look at this and think, well, we need the market's going to continue to move higher. True, it is likely to do that, and the same for the DAX. But you can say you get sucked into these moves on the open, and then they slam it down, and you get caught out immediately. So it's a case of seeing what they do in the futures market when it opens. So say big move there, 500 points in the DAX as well. Okay, that will do for part one. I've done a more of an in-depth analysis of what happened yesterday in part two. So if you want to watch that, then please continue. If not, thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Okay, let's have a look at yesterday's trading session in some detail. We can see that from around 6:30, the market starting to move, and then as soon as the futures market opens, prices push on to the upside, moving up eventually around 70 odd points before the cash market opens. And you see a bit of profit taking there as prices pull back. 5 bar crossing down below the 20 bar, but then crossing back up as you see this buying coming back and closing above the 5 bar and then the 20 bar there. But then the cash market opens and you'll see prices starting to move to the downside sharply. And you'll see where we had that buying taken out there at 13.59, heading down to the 200 MA and the high. And as I've always said before, watch out for the high, because this is where the market is likely to find some sort of support. And that's precisely what we see there. Prices just trade below. You can see the buying pressure coming into the market there at the high. If you can keep the prices above the previous day's high, that's the objective. Keep moving, pressing forward to the upside, and this is what you're seeing here. Prices then give a potential buy signal, and what I'm currently working on is actually getting into these trades a lot sooner by using the volume and price action. So we're still work in progress at the moment, but very revealing, especially at the pivot points, 200 MAs, etc. And I'll point a few more out to you in this video. So price is moving higher, trading up to the scalp where it starts to run out of momentum, and you can see why, because we've got some selling here, and this bar is less in range than the previous bar, so we know that there's some selling pressure in the market there. But you'll see prices trade sideways as the selling drops off. So the selling's disappeared and then prices move higher. And what I've done here is drawn in a fib retracement from this high to this low and projected it up. And then as I go forward in this, you'll see that we hit the 89 and the market stops and then makes its way back and then out of the trade. It was a good job actually, because it just sailed all the way down, and you can see the potential weakness in the previous bar at 89% as well. A bit of a warning there. So you have all of this selling going straight through the high, and then you get a straight reversal of this amount of volume, which isn't too dissimilar to the previous bar, and it's not going any lower. So prices then trade sideways. I've drawn these fibs in from the high to the low so I can see what sort of momentum the market's got as it makes its way back up, see where it's likely to run into any sort of difficulty. And here you'll see prices then getting up to the 200 MA and back to the high. Keep the prices above the high is the goal. Then we get another potential buy signal. Prices start to move higher, and I'm watching the volume here, and then I get this spike in the volume, being on low volume to here. Then there's this spike at the previous, or already 78%, or in that area, 62% certainly, which I've removed off the chart there. If I just wind it back, you'll see that 62 just there, just above the BRN. So the market's struggling at this level between 62 and 78. And then you get these increases in volume, and again you've got it here. So as the market comes back, this is selling pressure. It looks like we're going to get another move to the downside, and I just decided to get out of this trade. And then you'll see we have a potential sell signal. Now the problem we had with this is the high. We've already seen how the market wanted to get back above this twice, and that's exactly what was going to happen here also. Again, all I'm looking at is keeping my eye on the volume. It didn't trade down to the, it traded down to the scalp, and as soon as it got down to there, you can see the increase in volume as prices come off the lows as they buy back at the high. Get a second bar here, and then we spring it back to the upside. And then again, I've just drawn in a fib retracement from this high to this low, and you can see there that the market is becoming narrower, the volume's dropping off, and again unfortunately we have another potential buy signal there, and this moves to the upside and gets filled only briefly and then starts to make its way back before we get a sell signal. So we're stuck in this sideways move, and this is because we had the 70-point move in the pre-market, and yesterday's big move. You tend to find the market has to breathe the next day, and that's exactly what this is doing. So again, we're coming back to the high, and as I've just mentioned, the high is not a good place for a short, which again will be part of the new signals you won't get until we've broken below it and come back and test it. So the high holds a support for the upside, and then again you'll see prices then starting to move and trade higher. But again, we've got this issue with the volume as prices start to come back, and as soon as they sitting at the 78%, and I could see we were stuck in a sideways move here, I decided to pull this one as well, and you'll see there just as we get back to 78, say thank you very much, because we've got this spike in the volume. Even though it's green, the market's come off the high in this bar, which is an indication of potential weakness. And then you can see the prices pull back there. They come back to the 200 MA, and it's interesting because this is a nice bar here where you've got that subtle volume up to the average, and then we've got a potential we've got a red bar there as the market closes below, so it's now oscillating between the two. I've still got the upside targets on the fibs, and again you can see in this bar as well, prices coming off the high, and an increase in volume there as well. So you're seeing that bit of potential weakness there. Prices dipping back below to have another look at the 200 MA, and then sharply back there. We've got another potential sell, but that doesn't get filled. You can see the 200 MA there holding prices, and in this particular bar, this is the key here, you've got this green bar with prices holding in this sideways range, so you can see them buying back into the market. And then prices trade sideways, and again you've got that high down here at the 78% as well, and eventually prices break to the upside, and you can see that I've drawn all these fibs in as the market was moving high just to see where it will stop, and it stops at the 89 level there, and then see how that becomes a resistance for prices. So in the afternoon, the market had already started to move high. It was up 70 points before we had the news out. I'll just wind back. We'll see the news in a second. I'll go forwards then. So prices have been moving up, and you can see the selling coming into the market there as prices waited for the news. The news was positive, if I can find it. There we go, just seen it flash by. Let me see if I can pick that up. It's in here. Let me just widen the timeline out. If it gets a bit too close when you're dragging it, it goes in far bigger chunks. So let's just have a look. There it is. So here you can see the news came out positive. It was at 54.5, 57.2. This was a positive for the markets. We've got the R1 in the way though. Prices come through. They close back above the 5-bar moving average, and then we get some potential weakness here in the market trading sideways for quite some time. Now to leave the desk at this point to attend an appointment, medical appointment. So the market came back, and then we had a potential buy signal, and then prices moving to the upside. They're stuck at the BRN, and it's interesting because the volume's disappeared completely. There's some potential weakness there, and I think, like I say, there's exhaustion from yesterday in the market then trying to decide what it's going to do. Prices drift down. I mean, we've got this selling here, but prices also came off the low of this bar, and it seemed to hold the market. Looking at this on a bar by bar basis, prices then drift lower. You've got the 5-bar below the 20-bar, then prices close back, and they come back to break even before the market closes, and then starts to head south before it actually went down to the stop there. So a very quiet afternoon compared to yesterday afternoon for sure. So yeah, a bit of a frustrating day yesterday, because I was expecting things just to move swimmingly as they had done on Wednesday, but that wasn't to be the case. Okay, that will do it for part 2 and for this week as well. So we're wishing you all the best for the weekend. Let's hope there's a bit more volatility today and a few more decent trades as well. As ever, thanks for watching. See you in the next one.